Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 100. We finally made it. Episode 100 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon campaign, Halls of Arden Vul by Richard Barton, using a heavily modified version of the old school essential system by Necrotic Gnome. We have a full house tonight. I am John. I am your referee for the evening, and going around the horn we have...
Hello, I am Mike. I am playing Brother Lothar, the Cleric of Odin.
Hi, I'm David, and I'm playing Upior, the 6th level magic user.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. I'm back from Texas and ready to play Wolf Herd Cheek, level 6 fighter. I got a whole new backstory ready and everything, guys. I'm all ready.
I don't see no steers.
Lost brother. Let's go.
I don't see no horns on you.
Let's sharpen these up.
Right on. Well, folks, I'm Ted, and tonight I am reprising my role as Mortis J. Gobliono, 7th level goblin, and not from Texas at all.
Okay. All right. So we've made it. We've gotten to 100 episodes. We'll see if they actually get through 100 episodes. The party, right, so right now it is, let me double check here, 20th of Gelenios. It's about 9 o'clock a.m. The party, after bringing the AI Akla Cha and uploading her into the Loab shuttle, have returned via the teleportation circles back to the Bastion module of the Shining Beacon in hopes of finding more stuff in order to get what they need. So they are currently on the eastern end of a long east-west running hallway that is made out of plasteel, and on that end is a very weird sort of large chamber which has a curved wall on the eastern side, which they discovered after pushing a big red shiny button in that room, opened up a secret door right in the middle of it. Across from that curved wall is a straight wall on the west, which has a large screen that basically shuttles in between two images, which are obviously shots of two different areas in the halls. One is a giant like midden heap, like a big trash heap, and one is a chamber with two natural exits leading out of it. I believe that's what's showing. Let me double check here, actually.
I remember there being like an entrance and an exit. It seemed kind of linear from what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So one is like a large. It's like in a cavernous space with like a large amount of trash, and then you can actually use a. There's like a shuttle wheel that you can actually manually flip between the images, but it automatically switches after a certain amount of time too, like a slideshow. The other one is a natural cave that has two exits leading out in the same direction in the northeastern side, and in the middle of it, I don't know if I actually said this. There is a. Let me get it right here. Sorry. In the middle of the room, there is a fallen statue, apparently of a human warrior.
Huh. I don't remember you mentioning that, but maybe you did.
Yeah.
And the walls in there are like natural. It's like natural cavern.
Yes, not in the room you're in now, but in the rooms that view screen is showing.
Yeah.
And now, the fallen warrior's in the non-midden one, right?
That's correct. Yes. The one that has two exits sort of leading out of it in the same direction on the eastern side. Now, in a small little horseshoe nook of this large room you're in now in the southeastern corner is a console that allows you to operate point defense arrays. Right. Wolford had the multicolored key card that allowed for accessing that. So they were able to kind of easily see that when they kind of inserted that card, that a couple of view screens came up with a lot of, not view screens, but console screens that came up with a list of different functions that those point defense arrays could do. How they're triggered, what kind of shots they're going to fire, that sort of thing. And then in the far northwestern part of that room is, one moment while I handle my very anxious dog.
Oh, Elvis. Tell us what you see, Elvis. Tell us what you see.
In the northwestern part of that room is a iris door, which I made a point of mentioning was a little bit smaller than the other iris doors that you've seen. I'll actually switch over to Miro because this is kind of a complicated room. Everyone might want to kind of get a gander. So we're talking about right there in the middle of your screen. So yeah, the northwestern door is what I'm talking about right here. Small iris door, which has not been investigated yet. And you have just pushed the red button, which was on the point defense array console, and that opened this door. You have yet to step in there either.
Yeah, or to decide if we really want to. So, John, you mentioned, we were looking at this screen, and with the helmet of comprehension on, we were able to see all these different settings that the guns could take, right? Or whatever. We don't know what guns are, but can we see what the thing is currently set to? Or is there like a little checkbox?
Yes.
Saying which, because there were lethal rounds, non-lethal rounds, all kinds of things. And I'm just curious what it currently is set to.
Yeah. It is currently set to, fire at anyone attempting to force entry through the secret door into the bastion.
Okay.
So if anyone is on the other side of the door, on the eastern side of the door, and attempts to access that secret door from the eastern side into the bastion, they will fire upon anyone who attempts to do that.
And what
is it set to lethal? Yeah.
Yeah, lethal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an automatic response.
Yeah. I guess the other question is, if we look carefully at the ground around in there, John, is there any sign of bodies? Like, has this done its job at any point?
Dear, are you looking through the secret door?
It's open in front of us. I mean,
well, I was asking about the monitor, but yeah, somebody can look through the door itself. Sure.
So when you look through the door, it actually, you're seeing a different angle, but you could easily recognize that the angle that you're looking at this room beyond is the same room that the point defense arrays. Actually, you know what? The view screens of the point defense array control would not show anything. They would be black. And there would be an indicator that on the screen that the barriers hiding the point defense arrays are closed at the moment. Like it would,
Oh, they're in sort of enclosures of some kind?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're sort of hidden.
I see.
Now, when you look through...
so somebody comes in, that makes sense. Okay.
Right. So when you look through, you're looking at a relatively small natural cavern. That cavern is about 20 feet east to west by 30 feet north to south. And it's basically following on the western side the curve of that
20 feet east to west. So yeah. The secret door is sort of in the bottom of the cavern?
No, it's like right in the middle. So it's sort of like this ish, Yeah. And there are two about 5 foot wide natural passageways that lead out of the room on the northeastern side. Like one like here and like one like here.
Something like this?
Yeah, basically like that, yeah. Mm. Now the western wall of the cavern is the curve of the room that you're in right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the western wall of that cavern, it looks natural. It doesn't look like spaceship or something, right?
It doesn't, no. Yeah, it looks pretty natural.
Okay.
Inside the cavern. On our side, it looks like spaceship.
Yeah.
Right?
So I guess my question is, do you think that they did they do that? Did they make it look like natural cavern as like a obfuscation, or is it just literally where the wall of the cavern meets the wall of the spaceship?
It's a good question. And based upon other areas where you've noticed the natural stone of Arden Vul sort of mixing with the plasteel, you have a feeling this is the same case and now that you have the answers from Akla Cha, you're pretty clear that this is one of those places where it phased into existence, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said the gun ports are behind like hidden doors.
Yes, those you don't see point defense arrays in the room, but you do see what is obviously there that is like on the view screen on the western wall is showing this room. Like you can recognize it. In the middle of the room, there is a fallen statue that looks like a human warrior.
Yeah. I need to step out for just 1 second and help that kid. I'll be right back to just a moment.
Okay.
There is also a pretty strong smell of effluence and rot coming from the eastern.
The midden heap.
The midden heap, yeah.
Smells like it, yeah.
So based on the angle of the view screen right behind us, can we see where that camera is?
Yeah. Although they don't really explain it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So in the PDA console, the view the console will give you of what the actual gun actually sees is black. And so we can't tell from that point of view where it is. So right now there's really no way for us to tell where the guns are unless it's magically hidden, in which case David could see it with the circlet.
Yeah, so it's not magical, so they don't see it, but what the console itself does indicate that those barriers are closed and there is like a function on the console to open them.
Can we open them and just not let them shoot us? Like that would be amazing. Like, I mean,
should be possible, right?
Yeah, the console isn't in a direct vector to the gun slots, I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, yeah, so they'll stay at the console and they'll be safe from the guns.
Right.
So yeah, try it. Let's see if we can get the guns to open just so we can see where they are and what they look like.
The console can also just deactivate the guns. You can pretty much do whatever you want with the guns right now.
Okay. Open the doors and deactivate them.
Okay. So you all right. So you power down the guns and you press the button that says open. So when you're looking in the cavern, you see that on the northern and southern walls, basically facing each other, an ingenious hiding thing basically reveals itself. So there's 5-foot ovals of stone, of natural stone, that actually press inward about 6 inches before they slide into slots in the wall. And they reveal behind them there is a 5-foot diameter nook behind them inside the wall that contains a Rudishvan point defense array on either side. And they are scary looking things. They are titanium alloy turrets, obviously non-fragile. They have a rotating set of barrels, and they look really freaking nasty. And they're basically planted there.
John, with the turrets inside those alcoves, is there any room to maneuver? Like if I walked up and tried to look behind the guns and sort of just like crawl into that 5-foot nook, would that be possible?
It'd be really tough. It obviously was not meant to be manned. I mean, you could do it, but it's not a natural thing to do.
I want to just take a peek in there and see if there's any secrets. That's it.
Yeah. Turn goes by, but yeah, you can confirm that there's nothing that's going on in there.
Yeah, I figured.
While he's doing that, I want to check out that statue that's in this room, right?
It is in that room. Yeah.
Oh, I was asking, can those guns be dismounted and turned into personal weapons?
They cannot. No, they're much too big. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there evidence of them firing inside this cavern? Scorch marks, blast marks in the wall, or
bullet holes?
No, it does not look. Yeah, that's a good question. It does not look like anyone has attempted to do this, or if anyone was in this cavern, they had the right pass keys or something.
And
like that.
Is there a keypad on the wall?
Nope.
Secret door from both sides, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was obviously like the Rudishvans wanted to hide the bastion from whatever was on the other side to the east. Or protect it.
John, just to be safe, I want to drop something in the path of that secret door so it can't close when we leave it. If there's no obvious way to get back in, I don't want it to automatically close and leave us stuck on this side.
Say that again, Matt. What did you?
I don't want that secret door to automatically close or something when we all go through.
Yeah.
So I just want to leave like a spike, or I want to like leave something in the way so that it can't close and lock us out.
Sure.
Why are we all going through?
So
Yeah,
just
I
mark-
don't think we should all go through it at the same time.
Wait, you could, if you want to, just take off a spike off your inventory.
So it's fine.
I don't.
I just want to know why we're at what point were we all going through? Like,
I was away. I thought you guys all went in. That's cool.
no. David's in there looking at the guns, and the rest of us are, I think, kind of just looking through the door. Except you just said you wanted to go look at the statue.
Yeah, I'm going in. I want to go look
Yeah,
at the
fine.
statue, but I'm still paranoid. So I'll just use my grappling hook. I'll just drop it in the door. So it can't.
So only Wolford and Upior are in the room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently.
All right. The two of you, and where Upior's got continual light.
I have continual light. I have the circlet on. I am eyes wide and clear of mind.
Okay, Wolford, do you have a light source, or is it just Upior?
I do. I also have the light amulet.
Okay, cool. So both of you, can you please roll a d6 and tell me what you get on the die?
I can.
I got a 3.
Okay.
I'm a bad boy and left my dice in the drawer. Sorry. There we go. D6.
We haven't done this that many times, so it's
It's
okay.
been a couple weeks. Sorry.
It's still new.
That's a 5.
Okay. All right. So, Wolford, you're going up to the statue?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do?
I want to examine the statue. I want to look and see if I can tell who it is. I want to see if I can tell like why it's fallen, if it, just crumbled naturally or was knocked over by anything or damaged by guns. Just explore that statue area.
Okay, cool. So are you just sort of like circling around it, or are you actually kind of getting up close and like touching it, or what's the plan?
I'm going to get up close. I mean, and you said it's toppled, right?
It's
Is
toppled,
it in half? Okay.
No, it actually appears to be whole, relatively, like it's chipped and stuff like that, but
Okay.
it's just over on its side.
Does it look like any of the things that have tried to come to life and kill us before?
No,
You're familiar
it
with
doesn't.
those
No.
statues?
It looks like an Arcontian legionnaire, basically. So that you get that impression almost immediately, but it's not as tall as those ones that have animated before. But it's just kind of holding a sword, like on the crossbar and point down sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to walk up to it. I'm going to, I'll do a circuit around it. I'm investigating that statue.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as I said, it looks pretty relatively mundane. It's a little odd that it's just sort of standing here. I mean, like, fallen over here. You don't see a pedestal nearby or anything like that. It's just like a statue, on its side.
There's no slime on it or scuff marks, scrape marks of something large passing by it.
No, it's just.
Hey, John. I'm gonna go knock on it and see if it's hollow.
You're gonna what? I'm sorry.
And,
I'm gonna rap on it and see if it's hollow.
Okay.
yeah. I'm
so-
I'm also now curious of the level of detail. Does this look like somebody who's been petrified, or is it in?
Right. Good question. No, it does not look like that accurate. It's a good like Greco-Roman sort of style. So it's pretty well done, but it's not like absolutely like lifelike. So Upior crawls out of his little hole there behind the point of fence array. He's like, "What you got there?" And comes over and raps on it. The moment he raps on it, what's your AC there?
Right.
What's your AC there, Upior?
That's a whopping 10, John.
Okay. So he kind of comes up behind it and just knocks on it. I wonder if it's hollow. Matt, you're on the other side of it, like where the front of the body is, right? You see a horrific thing sort of happen as the first knock of Upior's first knock happens. Longitudinally along the body, right? Like so from like neck to crotch sort of thing. It basically splits open.
Yeah.
Revealing a gaping slime-covered maw of sharp teeth.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
And it lurches like its entire body, like it tries to flip like a hot dog. You know what I mean? Like over, so that its mouth can reach Upior. But Upior, you see the movement right at the last second. You see Wolford's eyes widen in alarm, and you dodge back as it snaps at you with lightning quickness. And a long pseudopod-like tongue reaches out and then pulls back in again. And the whole thing is sort of like humming on the ground and like ready to lurch at you.
How tall are the ceilings in here, John?
They're about 10 feet. No, I'm sorry, 20 feet tall. 20 feet tall. Pretty tall.
Cool. I'd like to activate those boots the minute I have a chance.
I'm sure you would. So declarations. The rest of you, the rest of the party. I forgot to mention that we have Barrios and Elizabeth as our retainers that are back in the Rudishvan room. See this occur as well. So spells and or melee movement. Both Wolford and Upior are in melee.
Casting.
Let's
casting.
see. Lisbeth is not going to cast at this point.
Okay. Mike, you're muted.
I don't know what this qualifies as. What is the action to go and turn on the auto guns or control them?
Oh, it's not a spell. So, okay, roll for initiative, please.
Okay, who's got it?
I'll do it since I'm right there.
Oh, that's a 2.
I got a 2
won't have it for
roll
long.
again.
Oh, hey, there we go.
I got a 5.
Oh, I got a 5 too.
Really? Keep it
I
going.
challenge you, John.
I challenge you.
I got a
3.
6.
Beat that.
All right. Okay. So, yeah. So it's going to lunge at Upior once again. Upior is casting a spell. So if it is successful, that will cause him to waste a spell. AC again, Upior. I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's 10.
10. Okay.
You
He hit you that time. Last time that you were lucky because you rolled a natural 1. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
No. Upior.
12 points of damage.
I only have 11 HP. I'm down.
Oh. All right. So, yeah. So it lunges out with its pseudopod, smacks you. You basically bounce your head, which you would think would be off the mimic, but instead your head and body is actually glued to its surface. And so Upior is just sort of like sprawled against it, and you can see like the weight should have pulled him off the thing, but he's sort of like hanging off the side of this statue on the ground, completely unconscious. And it's been a minute, so I got to look up these. Where's our thing here? Okay, so you're going to lose 1 hit point per round. At -10, you are dead. So where are you at right now? -1?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So, you're -1. Okay. That was its attack, and now it is the rest of you guys.
All right. So I'm already in melee. So I'm going to stab at the thing who's trying to eat my friend.
Okay.
Or Upior, whichever one. All right. That is 13 plus 8. So I think that's going to hit.
Yeah, so it's AC 13.
Okay. And he's using frog catcher, by the way.
Actually, it normally would be 13. Its AC is actually 12 because it doesn't like the light.
Oh, okay. Well, I hit even more then. That is 9. Is it more? Yeah, that is 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. All right.
As I jab it with frog catcher, trying to
Okay,
avoid
cool.
stabbing my dying friend.
Yes, so you actually managed to stab it like right in that gaping maw, and blood does indeed spurt forth. Who's up?
Thank you.
Ted,
You're muted, Ted.
Sorry, guys. Barrios and Mortis will immediately leap into action. It's only not even 20 feet away, right? So I should be able to get to it. So Mort rolls a 19, which is plenty, and is going to do 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And Barrios attacking with the Spear of Scleros. Looks like he'll also hit for wrong damage die. And I just threw that on the floor. There we go. That's I rolled a 10, so 13 points of damage. Well
Wow.
done, Barrios.
All right, so you guys jump into the fray and just start hacking at the thing. It squeals in pain, but continues to jump around. Just so, remember, it's like a sideways body, so it's just sort of like hopping like on the ground and like and bringing and dragging Upior along with it. Yeah.
Whoa, Upior.
Anyone else? Is that it?
I still have an action.
Okay.
I was going to try and fire up these auto cannons, but I think that's probably a really good way to end up with a TPK. So,
Yeah, please don't.
Everyone else is in the scrum right now, so
yeah, the comedy potential would be amazing.
The
but,
final delve.
but I will not do that, John. I am going to not leave the secret room though, just in case the door shuts on us or something stupid. So I'll stay in there.
And Elizabeth?
Okay, cool.
Well, Lisbeth has a better chance of hitting one of us with Shrieker than she does of actually hurting the thing. So she's going to hold.
Okay, cool. All right, top of the round.
Yes.
Declarations, melee movement, spells.
None.
No. Okay, cool. Roll for initiative.
Well, Lisbeth is going, I guess on this one, she will run up so that she's close enough to touch Upior and heal him next time.
Nice.
Oh, on the last
So she
round.
can't
Okay.
cast the spell this time, but so she'll
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I got a 6.
Oh, I'll do it. And I got a 1, so I guess that sorts that out.
Okay. David, I'll trust you'll be honest. Whatever spell you were planning on casting, that is now lost, just so you're aware. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. So,
Ironically, it was forget, so I've forgotten.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to lurch around and attack the first thing that sort of is in its way. That is everybody except for Lothar and Upior. So that's going to be Mort and Wolford will be 1, 2. And then Barrios and Elizabeth will be 3, 4. That's everybody, right? Yeah. Barrios. What's Barrios' AC?
Barrios' AC is, it's certainly 16 and then, 17, but he's got a shield that is magic, but we don't know what its bonus is.
Okay.
So he's got +1 mail and possibly a +1 shield? I don't know.
Don't matter.
It don't
So
matter.
he's going to take 8 points of damage as it snaps around his ankles.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Okay, and when it does that, Barrios' leg and the rest of him is now stuck to the mimic as well. He's
Okay.
like, get it off of me. It's like a bear trap basically around his ankle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep
All right.
picturing
Get it off
that
of me.
scene from The Thing with the mouth that
Exactly.
bites the guy's hands off.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Well, I'll tell you what, Barrios will immediately respond with the spear. Unfortunately, having a thing on your leg is not good for your accuracy, and that is a miss.
Okay.
Wolfhard
Go ahead.
to take a stab.
Yeah.
So. Oh, that's a 19 on the die, so that'll hit. So that's 11 points of damage.
All right. So you end it, Wolford.
Nice.
Just drive your spear straight down into it, and it
Well done.
squeals and then snaps its jaws shut. Barrios he gets his leg out, but he's still sort of and then it basically closes up and becomes like a statue again, and then Upior and Barrios both sort of slough off of it onto the ground, like the contact glue basically
Elizabeth
ceases to
will-
function.
Since she's there, she'll immediately cast Cure Serious Wounds on Upior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You don't have to roll because that takes them to 1 hit point automatically with our rules.
Then I was stupid. Can I make it Cure Light Wounds then, since I'm not?
Yeah. Oh, you're
Yeah,
rolling a higher
okay.
powered one? Yeah. Just use a.
I'll just use Cure Light. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So,
All right.
Upior, you are now conscious. You're at 1 hit point, thanks to the magical healing. However, your movement tier is now reduced by 1. So I assume you're probably moving at 90? Were you moving at 120?
I was moving to 120. Now I'm moving at 90.
Okay, so that's good. And your encumbrance allowance itself is now halved. So if any of your items are in that new bracket are more than half, you have to find somewhere else to put them or give them to someone else.
Anyone want 200 feet of rope?
Barrios will take it.
I have space on my character too if you need.
Okay. And Upior, at the end of that round, like when it did end, you would actually drop to -2. So those penalties will be removed in 2 hours. Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
So you only had to drop the rope, David?
Yeah, 200 feet is 4 slots. So
Okay.
I only can take 100 feet of rope then.
Don't you have Laurel sack?
No.
That takes up 2 hands. So you give 2 to
Gotcha.
2 to Barrios and 2 to Lothar there.
Yep.
We can also just throw 200 feet of rope on the ground here, guys. We'll probably be back.
Fine. If we have the space for it, we should take it for now, and then
Sure.
always throw it away later.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I'm looking at this. I think we had 2 different versions of these rules a little bit. So it's basically, I think, correct, but I think we, David, correct me if I'm wrong. We have to choose between your debilitation and injury, right? Because you've been,
If we're using those, I wasn't sure which rules we were using. Yes, hold on, I'll bring them up.
yeah, I have them here. So, so forget about the movement thing. So when you get back up, you can't move unless you're assisted. So one ally can assist to allow you to move, to both of you to move at 1 tier below their current movement rate. So like whoever helps, you can't move, period. If someone helps you, you would be both moving at 1 tier lower, and whoever's lowest would be the rate. And the assistant needs 1 hand free and can no longer add items to their inventory while they're kind of helping you out. Still for 2 hours. Okay.
Guys, we're not in a rush right now. Why don't we just pull back out of this cavern?
Wait. I misspoke. It's been so long since I looked at these rules, and we haven't actually magical healing circumvents survival penalties.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
never, a little preview of what we were thinking about. If he had naturally fallen, if he had, if he had been bandaged and then like naturally kind of got up to consciousness, then all that stuff would have applied. But because it was magical, it circumvents all that. Magic is cool. So
By the way, the rules are great, guys.
they really are. They're actually
You'll love them. Well, I'll print it out somewhere.
Anyways, all right. So thanks to Elizabeth's healing, Uber's doing just fine. Well, he's at 1 hit point, so he's not doing great, but no penalties.
Well, it's a good thing I handled that.
Yeah.
One strong knock on a statue and it shatters, right, guys?
Turn goes by.
Sure.
Yeah, and so can he get more healing, John?
Yeah.
You can heal me again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'm going to drop a Cure Serious Wounds on him.
Love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Is that 2d6, I think?
You're the cleric.
It's 2d6 plus 2.
9 points, 9, 10, 11.
Wow, I'm at max HP, guys.
You're all
Back
good.
to a hearty 11 HP.
Meanwhile,
Nice.
Barrios is just, standing over in the corner, stoically bleeding out of his leg. Didn't say a word. It's fine.
How far? How many did he lose? How down? Is
He lost 1/3 of his total hit points.
Barrios ain't got time to bleed.
He ain't got time to bleed.
I'm a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus.
He is a He is the goat, baby.
I have a Cure Serious Wounds. I mean, we could literally just camp here, though. I mean, inside the secret, the secret area.
We just camped though. It's like 9 a.m.
Yeah, let's go a little bit. Let's
on.
like, because Lisbeth has a Cure Serious Wounds too, but he hasn't lost enough to make it worth it.
Okay, so to put you in the right.
Sure. Or someone does a ton of damage to him and suddenly he's at 0. It's
Okay,
fine.
John, I stand up. I'm healed. I feel good. I immediately walk to the other side of the room.
Well, I think we're doing a typical AV club thing. So let's kind of reset and sort of focus on what the goals are here. Because remember, shiny stuff like fallen human statue must investigate. But realize where you are and what your goals are. So right now, what you need is a drive rod from the engine room in order to get that shuttle going. And a command tablet. And you need the command tablet. You've since recently learned from Akhlet Shah that the tablet of the beacon, what's known as the tablet of the beacon, which you have correctly surmised is one of those command tablets, is not the only one. There's supposedly 2. One that the Captain Lael Jor had, and one that the first officer had. Right? Which one Marius Tricotor ended up with, you're not really sure. Right. But you do know that the Bastion, the module that you're in right now, was supposed to be the relaxation and quarters for the commanding crew of the Shining Beacon, which would include the captain and the first officer. And you thoroughly searched the bridge and nothing. They weren't there, right? So in addition, the drive rod. And I want to kind of go back and explain something to you that Akla Cha probably would have told you when you uploaded her into the shuttle. Is that she tells you again that she is there as like I can't remember the exact term that she used, but she's like a therapist for the crew, right?
Yeah.
She is not an AI that operates the Shining Beacon nor the shuttle. She is aware of history and all that kind of stuff, and the Rudishva and the personalities and all that sort of stuff. But she tells you, and she's very clear, she cannot operate that shuttle, right? She understands the principles involved, right? And she can probably guide you through how to do it. But when it comes to actually like reacting to circumstances while you're in flight, or if anything should happen, it is impossible for her to convey that, while you're in the middle of that, right? So
That makes sense. Yeah.
she does tell you that the only way that you're going to be able to learn that skill is to study it, right? And there is a document, it's a data crystal, again, like a video, that is basically like the tech specs of the Shining Beacon. That's the best thing that she can think of, that she knows that the Rudishvan High Command sort of had at, and then a couple of different copies. She's not really sure where they are now.
Right.
If you look for that data crystal, it will explain. It's like the operating manual for the larger mothership, but those same principles would apply to the shuttle as well.
So am I to understand then from that, so I understand that she's uploaded into the shuttle systems, can't fly the shuttle. I get that.
Yeah.
The command tablet that she's described to us, she would presumably tell us what it does. And what it does is it allows us to interface with the shuttle. But it itself also has no ability to autopilot or do any of those things. We actually need to use the tablet to fly the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
To understand the principles. Yeah.
Gas and brakes,
No, you're right. More like it would, between Akla Cha and the command tablet, you could, and the astrogation crystal, she could basically like, if you press this button, it'll set the course for this and it'll just go there, right? Like there's very little you have to do.
Right.
But that is sort of like, if nothing else happens, right? Barring anything else, like, like you just be flying completely blind with absolutely no understanding what was going on, that sort of thing.
If
So
we needed to turn, we wouldn't
done
know how to
for-
turn.
yeah. So you can do it. It would be a calculated decision on your part to say, like, we can't find this. Let's just do it. Let's just go. But it would definitely help to have this and to study it.
Right. So in the sense of we've never known what we're doing for 100 episodes, we'd be normal.
Normal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There were a ton of crystals inside the hangar that we never actually played or looked at, right?
in the hangar, no, not that.
No,
There
There
were
were
some
several
on
on a
the-
table by like the memory machine or something.
a bunch of them were blank, I think.
Many. Yeah.
And there were some on the bridge, but they were like different locations, like mysterious locations. So it wouldn't mean any sense.
Those were astrogation crystals, which are different than data crystals.
Yeah.
Right.
All that said is all I'm saying is like you're stepping sort of out of the Rudishvan area
Right.
into the halls again. And if you want to explore it, it's absolutely totally fine. But
Right.
just be aware of what your goals are.
I think the only thing that I want to do, because I do think, yeah, the tablet is probably back to the west. Just for
Yeah.
completionist though, I gotta like circle around that little thing there just so we can like is this
I'd really like
another
to
bagel?
know.
John, can we like
No,
just
because
scoot around
somebody has
whatever
to. There's no point in it being a bagel if no one can approach the secret door. It's got to go somewhere, and where it's going is somewhere Arcantian. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to defend the door, right?
Not
Right.
necessarily
yeah,
Arcantian,
I
but
just
something.
want to see what's on the other side of this.
Hecate, that's true.
Yeah.
I would totally support a little quick jaunt just to see where. Like not so interested in the midden one, although God knows that could be where the command tablet is. But
I mean, why not instead of discussing, we just walk 20 feet to the west?
Yeah, I just want to see
If
the
it
other side of the
continues,
room.
it does. If it doesn't, we'll
The
turn
east.
around. It's a very simple
Yeah.
east, rather. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you go the north or the south?
which one stinks less?
They both think the same.
I'll go north.
North.
Okay, so it's really easy to decide. David had the right of it. The moment you sort of step up to that thing and you kind of shine your continual light down, you can see that the passageway only goes for 20 feet before it hits a solid wall of not a solid wall, a wall of trash. So there's like bits of bone, smashed chamber pots, broken leather straps, odd pieces of iron, implements of sorts, masonry chunks, occasional fragment of carved stonework, and a bunch of, and it's all like slicked with what you assume is some sort of awful secretions from bodies in one way, shape, or form.
Do I see any magic emanating from that pile with the
Good question. No, you do not. Appears to be just what it is. It looks to be a giant trash heap that has risen so high that it's actually blocking passage through either end. By the way, you can send someone else down to look at this other end. It's the same thing. So yeah, it does look like it does. They lead to the same spot, and that spot is a giant trash pile.
Okay. That's good enough for me. I'm ready to go west.
I just want to point that out again. A giant trash pile. If you're looking to sort of get a clue as to where you might be in the halls of Arden Vul.
At the bottom of the chasm where everything has been falling down for 1,000 years and piling up. And that's super interesting. Oh, if only we had a disintegrator ray or 500 goblins with shovels.
So it does look like, so this is very different than like a cave-in of like that you've come across before with rocks, right? This could actually be excavated, not in short order, but in much less labor than moving stone, right? So this is not like a solid barrier, impassable, don't even try sort of thing. If you wanted to spend the time, you could do it.
I mean, I want to dig in the trash, but we need the pad, right?
Yeah. We do need the pad. I'm just thinking how hilarious it would be to levitate all the trash back up to the upper levels. Just, here's your stuff back, guys. Okay. Yeah, that makes it pretty easy. Let's go back and close the secret door.
Let's look through this iris door. Yeah.
Sure. Let's check the iris door.
Ooh, the little iris door. Okay.
And from henceforth, I won't be knocking on things with my fist. I'll be using the poisoned dagger.
So also, like, guys, do we want to leave the defense array off? Like right now it's off.
No, you should turn it back on.
Back on.
Well, it might, if we turn this off, it might turn it off. I mean, turn it back on. It might turn it on elsewhere too. We don't know if it's just this or it might be doing.
I think it had very clear like panels for the guns that were.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Wolford, I've sort of been making you the point guy with this because you're the one with the operator's card. Yeah. So you can clearly see on the console, like it doesn't leave any sort of question as to what it's capable of doing or what's going to operate. So as far as that goes, what you can do is you can select the trigger and then the kind of rounds. So it includes like motion sensitive firing, which is the current, was what the setting was current, before. Sweep firing, stutter firing, arc control, and heat sensitive firing. And then the variation of projectiles, it could go lethal, which is what it's set to now, rubber bullets or gas pellets.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, he'll set it to what it was before, and we'll just leave it. So it was lethal, motion sensitive.
Motion sensitive and lethal. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so you turn that back on, and then the iris door to the northwest has a little keypad on it. On the side, just like a normal iris door. It's a little bit smaller.
I'll swipe my badge on it.
What badge is that?
I believe Mort has the orange badge.
An orange badge.
Does that sound right, guys? Orange, yes.
Okay, so you pulled up the orange badge and you go against the thing, and it goes beep burp.
Okay, I'll get my captain's badge out. The gold badge.
Gives more to look.
Or takes it from him and threatens him.
I'm still wearing an orange jumpsuit, I just remembered.
Yeah, man.
So when I was stuck to that mimic, I was a big orange blur. And I will very cavalierly just sort of should have wink it and work.
Boop beep.
Aha.
Iris door opens.
Mort just starts muttering 11 hit points, 11 hit points, 11 hit points.
Yeah. Beyond, directly to the northwest. So you're basically entering in from the very corner, the exact corner of the southeastern end of this room, is a 20-foot by 20-foot room. You're coming in on the corner of the southeastern corner.
Is there like a little tiny corridor?
No, it literally just right beyond. So that corner of the square that was beyond the door would be the southeastern corner of the room, 20 foot by 20
Right.
foot.
So it doesn't match up with the grid.
By only like a couple millimeters. No. Right here, Ted. Boop, boop. This vertex, is that the correct vertex? Is the southeastern corner. So it's like burp, 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 burp.
Well, okay, but then I don't know how you're going to get a tiny Irish door in that tiny little vertex.
Well, you know.
Oh, son of a... What the hell just happened?
Just Control Z that shit, man.
I did Control Z to undo the 2 lines I just drew, and it erased everything I've done.
I didn't do it.
All right, I'll fix it.
Wasn't me.
All right. So beyond there, 20 foot by 20 foot door room, it is Rudishvan. There is a wall-mounted bed and a wall-mounted desk there made out of white plasteel. There is an orange plastic chair affixed to the floor and a wardrobe made out of white plasteel. Mounted on the north wall is a display screen that appears to display holographic images. So it sort of has like a 3D quality to it. It alternates between pictures of stars, star clusters, and nebulae. And it cycles through these like every couple of minutes or so. It's like beautiful, like pictures of these things. Like you don't even know what you're looking at. It just looks stunningly beautiful. Pictures of galaxies and things like that, right? Yeah. So that it appears to be not ransacked. Like it appears to be pretty pristine in there, and it looks to be someone's quarters.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks like a map room, right? Okay.
John, am I remembering? Sorry, am I remembering right that the iris is smaller than the ones that we've seen before?
It is, yeah,
teeny tiny, or
it just seems to be like a relatively modest but well-maintained private chamber for what probably is an officer of some sort. And everything's just sort of nice and organized, table, wardrobe, bed, chair.
Can we open the wardrobe?
Yeah, let's go take a look in the drawers and stuff. We're looking for a pad.
Okay, so Lothar, you're opening the wardrobe, you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hands on it real quick, like just to see if I feel like any kind of like tingle of energy, and I'll listen to make sure I don't hear like a hum. And then when I open it, I'm gonna kind of like, what is it, like handles, Sean? Are they like regular door handles? Pretty
much.
Can I open it and step to one side as it opens?
Sure. Yeah. You don't hear or feel anything untoward, and you open up the wardrobe. Inside, you see that there is 2 orange jumpsuits, very similar to what Upior is wearing. They are both have like a like identifying tag on them, and the tag declares the wearer as the chief of security.
Oh.
Okay. And there is some strange footwear inside that looks like it was. It's like obviously for larger feet, like for Rudishvan feet. It looks like it would be more appropriate for like desert wear, sort of like a Fremen sort of thing going on there. And there is a vinyl bag that has something heavy and clinky inside.
Okay, I'm going to take the bag and I'm going to open it.
Inside, there are 3 devices which look very strange to you. They are pyramidal, made out of metal, and they are with a 1 foot square base. The base has an adhesive patch on it.
Okay. I stick it down. Using the table, I'll put it down like adhesive pad down. Are there any kind of buttons or anything on it?
It looks like you can, like the top of the pyramid, like the little capstone of the pyramid, it looks like that can be rotated.
Okay. Is there any kind of lens or anything like on it or anything that?
No.
Okay. All right. Everyone out of the room. Last time I did this, I lost my eyeballs. Okay. Once they clear the room, John, I'll kind of put my shield up over my face like this and doop, with the pyramid.
Okay. You put it on top of You put it on top of the desk?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to point out too that when you go over to the desk, which I assume Wolford also kind of went over there as well. I'll follow up on what you do with that pyramid in a second. But on the desk, there is what is obviously a New Coder 1000, which is like the iPad. Okay, so like a mobile black screen. There is a scattering of what appeared to be 6 data crystals, each with a clear glyph on them, labeling what they are. But before you could determine what they are, Lothar sets down this pyramid and goes chink chink and turns the capstone. When he does so, you hear a bright beep emit from it, and then the seam between the capstone and the rest of the pyramid actually starts to pulse like a red light. Sort of like Kit from Knight Rider, like, you know what I mean, like you know.
Turn it back. It's gonna blow up.
Turn it back. You just don't blow up all the data crystals, please.
All right, I turn it back, John.
Okay, the light turns off, and like that, it sort of started like not hum, but you could feel like it, like power was activated in it. Now that shuts off as well.
Okay.
We could ask our friend AI what this thing is and what it does.
There are 3 of those. Okay. The vinyl bag as a whole, like if you carry them in the vinyl bag, that would be a slot. But if you take them out of the bag and carry them individually, they're each a slot. So it's better to take the bag.
Yeah, I'll take the bag.
Okay.
John, I'd like to paw around under the bed or perhaps under the pillow to see if there's any pistols hidden away.
Unfortunately not. You give the place a thorough search, and it's pretty clear that there's nothing else to find here.
I suppose none of the clothes fits a goblin, right?
No, unfortunately. The Rudishvan are actually much taller than humans. So,
yeah, I was thinking that I might be able to, like, he likes that sound of like head of security. That sounds pretty cool. And so he wants to like zip up the orange jumpsuit over his armor if that's possible.
I assume Wolford and Upior, because they're strong dudes, sort of really like taller than average people. So, but even on you guys, like the jumpsuits are a little baggy. You know what I mean? They don't fit.
You can roll them up. Cuffs.
You can cuff them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Before we go to
Wolford
break, go ahead. Sorry, Wolford.
I was just going to say I was going to go tuck that kid in, but if we're about to break, cool.
Yeah, we're about to break. I'm going to give you the titles of each of the data crystals real quick before we break. Okay. There's 6 of them. One is called Letters Home. One is called The Diary of Pliv Mall, Chief of Security.
I haven't heard that guy's name yet, right?
We have, I think. Look.
One is Untitled, and it's actually labeled Untitled.
It's a porn stash.
One is called Crew Roster. One is called Allies Forever with an exclamation point. And the last one is a very complicated glyph that translates to the shining beacon of glorious heaven, technical specification of this York-class exploration vessel.
Hey.
There you go. All right. So with that information in hand, we can go over it when we get back. But we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Perfect.
All right. We are back. Bladders empty, beers full. All right. So you got all these data crystals that have some interesting titles to them. Do you want to look at any of them?
Well, guys, I just want to point out Pliv Mall was one of the bodies we found in the room with the 2 dead Rudishvans and the 2, I think they were dead Hekati, right?
Yes, the chief security officer.
Yeah.
Why don't we? I think that the crew roster might be helpful because we're trying to. I don't know, John. Did we get the name of the second officer, or do we just know that we're looking for them? But
you don't know the name of the first officer, no.
First officer. Yeah. So let's look at the crew roster and see if we can get a bead on that person.
Okay, so when you insert the data crystal into the new coder and you sort of take a look at the view screen, it gives you like sort of like a YouTube video. It gives you like a line for like the length of the thing, and it's 5 hours long.
Wow!
Oh my God. And as it starts, it's like it describes every initial crew member on the beacon, like every Rudishvan, not only Rudishvan, but all of the other hegemon races that were on board the Shining Beacon when it first crashed here. What you can tell from skimming through a bit of it is that the original crew consisted of 200 Rudishva, 75 Kalyani, Those are the like the four-eyed ones. You know what I mean? That have the gills and like are good at spells and stuff like that. The ones that betrayed the Rudishva, most importantly. 100 Varuda, those are the birdmen sort of guys, and 75 Varamani, the trolls. Each individual is depicted in 3D images with voiceover describing their rank and station, psychological attributes, and posting history, like where they're posted. Not their like Reddit posting history.
Rudishvan Reddit.
Yeah, so it gives you like all of those things included in those names, just so you're aware. It ticks off every single one of those survivors that you like, the names that you already heard before. The first officer is, let's see, where, because it doesn't give me the names, obviously. Although I wouldn't put past Rick to actually have like a full list of those. The first officer's name is Utor Val. UTOR-VAL.
Okay.
Okay.
And you said that it had 3D images of all these people. After we see a few of these, do we start to see like facial differences, or since are they so alien that they still all just
No,
kind of
you could tell. Yeah, they have the same variation as humankind. You know what I mean? So subtle.
Okay.
But yeah, they each one of them is individual. Yes.
Uh-huh. And does Utor have any like distinguishing mark, like a tattoo or weird scarring or like anything that we could use to identify?
Not that I'm aware of, but I would say like if you come across Utor Val, you would know it. You would know him when you saw him.
Okay.
The psychological makeup, there's like a little profile on him. It says that he's very capable, very trustworthy, is the perfect person. Like, should Lael Jor be incapacitated in any way, like complete faith in Utor Val to take over the captaincy of the Shining Beacon. There is a little note that he does have some obsessive compulsive tendencies, although not diagnosed as such.
Huh. Okay. So
That means he's put his control tablet away neatly in a box and has labeled it and that kind of thing. Do any of the
opens and
faces,
closes the box 3 times? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Do any of the faces, if we're seeing them in their prime of their lives, and they're healthy and so on. Like, we're not seeing anything that suddenly we realize is like figures from mythology or faces we've seen around in Arden Vul somewhere that, if you modified them slightly, you'd be like, wow, that really looks exactly like Thoth or something like that.
No, every single face looks completely foreign to you. Yeah.
And the you said the Kalyani were fish, but the Varuda were bird-like?
Yeah. Kalyani aren't
and
really
there's
fish.
no
They're more
like
reptilian.
boy, they look just like a ibis or something like that, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing that looks similar to what you've seen already in the halls is the Varamani. Look very like they look almost identical to what you're seeing currently. Yeah.
It probably won't come up, but just out of curiosity, like, was there a head chief officer of the Varamani? Because that might be something to drop with the trolls at some point if we ever run into them.
Yes, actually. So this data crystal wouldn't actually tell you. It would, but I don't know the name. There would be someone who's in charge of the Varamani, but the name that you need to remember for the Varamani is Vanara, who was the female Varamani, who was the head of the Varamani at the time that the betrayal happened. But that was 163 years after the crash, and this is basically dictating like who the crew was at the time of the crash, right?
Okay.
So like, so Vanara isn't even on there.
Here's an idea. It has their service records, right?
It does, yeah.
Is there a way to gauge how long they live by how long they've had postings?
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really have the answer for you. I don't really know what the Rudishvan Bastion is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's not really a germane. That's fine.
Not really.
Yeah, that'd be really cool though. If we're like, we could still find a Varamani alive that remembers the ship.
But this guy was in service for like 4,000 years. There, you'd be like, oh, okay. Well, they might still be around.
This kind of got brought up, I think, last session, and we determined. Like I also said, I didn't know. But Akla Cha clarified too that it was during their time here, after they sort of given up hope of being able to repair the Shining Beacon in any sort of way, when they resigned themselves to having to sort of stay here, they started to look into other means of extending their life. But she doesn't know if any of that was
I
successful.
remember that now.
But they were kind
Could
of
include magic, yeah.
that included magic, exactly, like the stuff that the Kalyani was particularly adept at. And it was because of the discovery of Arcanum that piqued their interest in that, and they realized that there might be something there for that. Now, what that form took of extending life, you're not really sure of at the moment. So, yeah. So, all that said, it rings to your ears that it's very possible that maybe some of these survivors actually did survive in some way, shape, or fashion, but you have no idea what that form may look like.
All right.
Okay, so if we've rooted through this room, we found the crystals, the new coder, a vinyl bag with pyramids, some clothes, and some Fremen shoes. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Can and I'm sorry, guys, I don't want to sidetrack us, but can we slot the spaceship technical manual and see if there's anything specific about the shuttles?
You want to slot that in?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a 6-hour walkthrough. It has hyperlink indices. How convenient. Of the main systems of the beacon, including life support, weapons, communications, medical, astrogation, and shuttle operations.
Ooh, let's look at the shuttle operations.
It's presented in the form of carefully scripted interviews conducted by an anonymous Rudishva with a range of engineering officers of several different species. So who has the highest intelligence here of all of you guys?
I'm a 13.
I'm rocking a 14.
13.
Yeah, surprisingly, no, it's not Wolford. Or Elizabeth.
It ain't Barrios.
Okay.
Probably Elizabeth.
So
I guess it could be Mike.
No.
I would say like Upior, Mort, and Lothar, the three of you you're kind of like looking at it, and it all like the language you're using, you're like, what are they talking about? But you are smart enough to sort of glean that the stuff that they're talking about, like how this all operates, is totally not going to work anymore in the remnants of the Shining Beacon. Like putting together what Lakla Cha told you about the phasing and the disassociation of the beacon into different modules. Like none of that stuff would work now. But the shuttle operations is gold. So whenever you see that sort of hyperlink to shuttle operations and you hit on that, it just gives you like it's what's great about it is that it's like watching a YouTube video of someone telling you instead of just like a technical manual. It's like a Rudishva going like, here's the shuttle, and it actually walks onto the shuttle itself that you're trying to repair. Look, it's based on a Karamundi and of the classic dragon of myth.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, exactly.
Are there cool thumbnails?
So there's and it goes through it all. Now you don't really, maybe you do have the time, up to you, but it looks like it's going to be very, very thorough.
I think we should do that later.
Yeah, if you spend the time to really study it. And again, this would take longer than just a normal person, like a person of that technology watching it to learn. It would take you longer because you're just.
Is there a blank crystal with us? Do we have a blank?
Well,
I don't think we can any of the blanks.
we don't have a blank one with us.
Okay.
No, but we can. Why don't we check that untitled one and
I was
see?
about to say
maybe
the
it's
same thing. Yeah, I want to
either
look at that.
porn or blank.
I hope it's not troll porn, man.
Oh my god! I hope it's alien porn. They're really
Okay. All right. Anyway, I think it's going to be the Event Horizon's final, video log is what it's going to be. But
where we're going, we don't need eyes.
So you insert it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
this
like
one,
Toad.
it's only a 15-minute long video, and it's shot. It's made by a female Rudishva whose name is Deepra Joel. And she's clad in a blue one-piece shift, and she's moving through elaborate yoga-like poses. And it ends like, so she's just sort of moving through these poses, and it ends with a close-up of her looking into the camera, like looking at you, and says in Rudishva, she says, "Your honor is my honor. Return safely, so that we shall both be enhanced in honor and joy."
Wow.
It looks very much like it was like a farewell love letter to someone.
Yeah, it's his
Aw.
wife or his mate or his
Yoga
his
instructor.
bonding partner, or they've made many podlings together.
Okay.
All right.
Aw, that's sweet.
All right.
Well, I think we
bit of a
should take
letdown. I'm not gonna lie.
we should take all the crystals, and just on the off chance that we can get this ship back to the Rudishva's homeworld, they Aklacha could take all these things and give them to give them to somebody back home.
Here is my point about why, like, if we had a blank crystal, I'm assuming that the whole ship technical manual is probably too big to play on like the iPad version of this thing. Is it, or is it not, John?
What's too big to play on the iPad?
Is the file on the crystal like too big to play on the portable one?
That's what you're playing it on. That's what you're.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
then we're good. All right. I want to kind of like watch that whenever we're doing downtime. I'm going to sit there and just study it.
Okay.
I'll just throw out there, guys, that this is a room that is only accessible via the captain's card that I have with a metal iris.
The captain's card allowed passage. The orange did not. Doesn't necessarily mean that the yellow's.
There might be
only.
another officer's card. My point is, this is a fairly secure location if there's anything we want to leave here temporarily as we adventure around.
Okay, not bad idea.
Just something to
but I
keep in
think-
mind, or to rest, for instance. I think we could rest here and never be disturbed.
It would be a pretty good
probably.
resting spot. Yes.
There's one more thing I think we should look at because it might be relevant to our safety in this immediate area, which is the diary of the chief of security. Right, he might note some
good
of
point.
the, like where the dangers were, or
Right.
and I guess we'd kind of start from the back.
I was gonna make
latest entry. And
Go to the last entry and see if it's a, they
Arr.
it's the drums in the deep. They're coming. That kind of.
All right. So you just want to skip right to the end?
Yeah.
I will see the end, see how long it is, and then maybe backtrack a little bit.
So it's an episodic recording of journal entries. And let's see, going to the end.
How long is it, John? Is it like hours and hours? Or?
Yeah, it's 4 hours about of time.
Okay.
Okay, the final entry contains, so this is without any context. Just be aware that you have no idea like what the flow of this recording has been, The final entry contains clear evidence that Pliv Mole, the security officer, his diary, suspected Listak, Listak, who was the Kalyani leader, of plotting imminent treason. Pliv Mole closes by musing that it may be necessary to quarantine the Kalyani, not just Listak, but the whole race, and that he has secretly placed Rudishva's structural mines throughout their dwellings east of the Midnight Road. The mines are on 24-hour timers and are designated to detonate unless Pliv Mole enters the appropriate code on a daily basis. And the code is actually recorded here in his diary, and that code is Deepra Joel.
I'm assuming he's missed his deadline. At this
Aw.
point.
I'm also assuming that these structural mines are those pyramids.
Quite possible. I thought the same.
Actually, I would say, like, because it's a video sort of recording of him sort of recording it, he actually does show one of the pyramids when he brings up the structural mines. Like, I've attached these to the, east of the Midnight Road,
And we don't know what the Midnight Road is, right? I don't remember figuring out what that is.
No,
So
I've never heard that one before. But I don't see a way to enter a code on the pyramids. There's not like a code pad on them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I may have misspoke about that, but whatever.
Maybe it's bleep, bleep, bleep. Like you got to do a code on the little pyramid thing or something.
I'm just maybe if you've got a control pad or he didn't have like an arm controller on his body. There must be some way. Anyway, all right.
It might even be like verbal, right? It might be a verbal.
They just don't give the description enough. It's
That's
just so like you've got
Yeah.
a translation thing, you've got the mind, you know how it works, you're good.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So now we know how to turn the mines off. That's good.
We just don't know where they are.
There are three of them in Mike's
east
pocket.
of the Midnight Road. Yeah.
Do we?
Boy, am I glad he didn't set that thing off. Gee, that would have sucked.
All right.
To the
I think
Midnight
we're
Road.
So that was the last entry.
I wonder if that's a name.
You listened to nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
I
don't-
wonder
why
if that's
don't
a
we-
name for the chasm.
Why don't we hold on further crystals till we decide to rest? Because
I like it.
we spent like
Spent a lot of time on this.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I got a couple doors southwest.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to
The
say 2
whole
turns
hallway.
passed. It's now 10 a.m.
Let's do them in order.
So where are you going?
That first door directly opposite the room with the bodies, one of which is Plivmol. Did we search the bodies? We must have.
You did.
Yeah, that's how we found the satchel with the fuel things.
Oh, right. That the other guy was carrying. Yeah.
Okay. So this
All
is
right, where are we
this,
going through, guys? I'm sorry, this one?
First door. Yeah. Let's do it.
this is a typical iris door. It has a panel on the side.
Captain?
I will. I mean, do we want to listen to any of these doors? I guess we can't hear through metal. I'll tap the captain's card again on the panel and step aside and see if it opens.
Okay. Boop beep. The door opens up. Immediately, when you open up the door, you hear a very disturbing sound coming from beyond. It sounds sort of like a combination of like Mongolian throat singing combined with like the way that they depicted like the Sardaukar chant in the new Dune movies, you know, like, you know, and it's, but it's while that can be pleasing, like Mongolian throat singing, this puts your bones on edge. It's so disturbing. It literally feels like there's like chalk running across your bones and sort of like rubbing them like a whale bone, sort of, you know, on your, it feels distinctly unpleasant when you hear it.
We'll hit that keypad one more time and close the iris door.
What does the room look like?
Did we see anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So when the first thing you hear is that thing, and it settles into your bones, very, very uncomfortable. And your instinct is to shut the iris door immediately. What you see beyond you, it doesn't really quell your fears in any sort of way. You find yourself in a very large chamber. Rudishvan make. Let me see if it's actually plasteel or not. Yes, it is. So it's plasteel. So the plasteel chamber with no corners or anything like that. About 40 feet wide. You're entering in from the middle of the southern wall. 40 feet east to west, and it goes for about 40 feet north to south. Actually, yeah, no, 1, 2, 40. Actually, 80 feet north to south, but after 40 feet, the terrain shifts into something completely different. But you're not really sure what that is. You can just see that what is smooth white floor suddenly changes into something that's like rugged and a terrain beyond. However, your vision of that is blocked because sitting right before that change are 2 massive solid granite chairs, and they are facing that rugged terrain beyond to the north. So their backs are to you. And you can just see over the backs of these stone chairs, which look completely like not right with the plasteel, right? There are the tops of 2 skulls. You know, like you can just see the top of the dome, like sort of, over top of the back of the chair. And those skulls are definitely like bone bleached white, but you can see that there are 2 tiny little horns that sort of kind of pop up from the frontal lobe. That you can kind of see.
Rudishvan.
But they're definitely skulls. There is also a 10-foot wide plasteel corridor that heads directly west after about 10 feet up from the southern wall.
Do these stone chairs, John, look like the stone chair of viewing that we found on? I want to say it was on the debouche level, but like far to the east.
Yes, they do. And the moment that
one of the areas that I saw, is this one of the areas that I saw through those?
No.
Okay.
When Upior opens the door and you're assaulted by that sound, you can definitely tell that the sounds are coming from those 2 bodies in the seats, even though you can't see the bodies. And Upior, right before you close the door, you see that both of the skulls sort of start to turn their heads like towards each other. And then you're like, shink, and close the door.
Nope. Yeah, nope.
We'll come back when you have silence memorized, Mike.
I think I do have silence memorized. I do.
You want to pop it off on him and see what happens real quick? I can open the door.
Are we staying on target or are we going off of target?
I don't like this room.
No,
Why don't we look in the other rooms first? Maybe they have what we need without the lich aliens.
Okay.
And if they don't, then we can ask the lich aliens nicely, if we can borrow their tablet.
Turn one
I'm
back.
sure they'll be cool about it.
All right, let's move westward again.
Okay.
And then
I'm with that.
I think
you
you
move
described
westward?
it's a door with a niche across from it. Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, there's a little niche to the north, but there's a door to the south right across from it.
What's in the niche?
So as you're just wondering what is in the niche, something comes out of the niche. And it is the Roomba.
Yay.
It kind of gives like a little irritated beep as it sort of has to like whiz between your legs, and it kind of moves to the east and sort of like goes up against the northern wall and just slowly like just kind of collects dust as it goes around its.
All right.
Yeah, and so
my base at it and say you almost got smoked.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just it's like a featureless nook, and it just looks like that's where it sits. Oh, there's like a little charging port too there.
Right.
John, I
don't
want to
think we need
pull
to
out.
interact.
I want to pull out the Arcantian equivalent of googly eyes and put them on the Roomba, just to give it some personality.
Nice, cool. Yes, excellent.
Nice.
How about a raccoon tail on a little wire?
Your nerves get on edge again as you kind of turn. You're like, oh, that's cute. And you turn to the door to the south, and you're like pulling out your plaques, and you're getting ready to go when you see that iris door is partly open.
Uh-oh.
And there is the charred corpse of what is obviously Rudishva in a light blue jumpsuit that has been jammed into the aperture. The feet are in the hallway. The head appears in the room beyond.
Is he wearing a name tag? Can we get at him and read it?
Can't tell because the feet are sort of like, actually you probably wouldn't be able to tell it's Rudishva, but you can safely assume. Anyways, it's the feet are in the hallway.
John, from our various crystal viewings, whether they be the roster or otherwise, did we learn what colors are affiliated with what branches of staff?
Yeah, so blue is like the highest command. The light blue jumpsuit. Orange.
Do we know what orange is?
Orange is more are officers, but more like rank and file officers.
Interesting.
Okay. Mortal, pull the body towards us.
Okay, so you
Into
kind
the
of
hallway.
it's a little rough because again it's an iris door, so like the opening is actually in the middle of the door, right? So you're kind of heaving the body over. It catches a lot on the edge, and like you
He's already dead. I'm not worried.
Yeah, and so pieces of it kind of come off and everything, but yeah, again, eventually it slumps onto the ground. There is a working panel there, just be aware for the iris door.
Yeah.
But you're still in the hallway. Okay, so the corpse is like very, very charred. However, I will say that you can look at the little insignia on its on the suit, and it does say first officer.
Oh, okay. So he was trying to get in there when this door closed. John,
Hold on, I've got a body. I'm looking at the body. Is there anything in the pockets? Gotta loot the body. Come on, you know the law.
Gotta loot that body.
That's right. Mike gets it.
No, nothing on the body.
Son of
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
well, I'm curious about the type of charring. Like we saw the bodies in the other room that seemed to have been charred by I think you described it as like splotches, like they got hit by something. Is it like that, or is the whole is it like he was immersed in fire, his upper half? The difference.
It looks like he It looks like the bottom half of him is more charred than the top half.
Oh, okay.
The
And
bottom half that was in the hallway. Is there charring on the door on our side?
Yes, I guess there probably would be. Yeah.
He kind of maybe he got shot while he was, trying to get this way. I guess the thing that I was looking for is if it's uniform, or is it like the top half of him got charred while it was in that room,
Right?
or is he kind of uniformly messed up?
It looks like you're not really sure what killed him, other than extreme heat, obviously. But it sure looks like he was attempting to get into his room or get into this room, whatever it may be. And at the moment the door was opening, he kind of tried to jump through and then was killed.
Okay.
And he wasn't like snicked in half by the door or anything like that, right?
No.
There's no evidence the door cut. Okay. Yeah. Just okay.
Why don't I swipe my card and open it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You opened up, beep, beep. You were immediately faced with, and you kind of jump back in alarm, because right in the entranceway are two standing figures looking at you. But you quickly realize that they're actually large, tall, about Rudishva size mannequins that have been carefully assembled. However, their dress is very outlandish and not at all like Rudishva, even though the height is like Rudishva. One has numerous belts strapped to its body, with numerous bits of jewelry, glass, and small objects depending from the belts, like fetishes. Okay, so it's just like straps, and then there's like little fetishes hanging everywhere. The other one is dressed in furs and leather and holds a spear, like just a regular primitive spear. And there are plasteel plaques that have actually been placed on these small little pedestals that the mannequins have, like literally like a mall mannequin, right? Like they're on like these little pedestals, and there's like a plasteel plaque underneath, and they're labeled carefully in glyphic, handwritten glyphic, but very, very precise. And it says, the one with the belts and the fetishes says Heketi, and the one on the right with the furs and the spear says human.
It's like a zoo, like a museum, Ted.
It's all very carefully arranged, carefully posed.
Right. Like this is the belts and fetishes we took off a Heketi that we captured or killed, and this is some furs and shit we got off of some primitive human living on this planet. Makes sense?
There's an abnormal amount of precision and detail and care.
Well, we know
He
someone
probably
who
also
has-
he does dioramas too, probably in his off time.
So that's what's facing you, like right there. Like you would literally probably have to move them aside to sort of like easily get into the rest of the room. However, like beyond them, you can see the rest of the room. It's a small room. It's 30 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south, and you'd be entering in directly from the middle of the northern wall. Curved walls, the whole thing. Does not appear to be any other exits. Beyond them, I'm not going to give you too much detail, just because you'd have to like move beyond them to kind of get a really good look. But they're again, there's a wall-mounted bed. There is a wraparound wall-mounted desk, so like an L desk that kind of wraps around in one of the corners, and a wardrobe similar to the ones that you saw from Pliv Mall. All are made of white plasteel. Mounted on the southern wall is a holographic display screen that rotates through the pictures of the nebulae and the alien landscapes and all that sort of stuff. Again, just sort of like mind-bogglingly beautiful. And yeah, there is a Nucoder 1000 that's on the desk. Although in this place, you don't see any data crystals on the desk itself.
Okay. John, I'm going to go ahead and have Wolfhard go inside, shield up just to be careful, walking in, looking up just to make sure nothing drops down on him, but stepping into the room, light from his amulet.
Okay,
to
cool.
Look around.
Yep, everything seems normal. You're able to step around the mannequins, no problem. It's a little unnerving.
Okay. He'll go up to the desk and start searching if there are any like storage areas, drawers or whatever in the desk, see if he can find anything.
Okay, the desk. Let's see. So you're looking. What are you doing at the desk? I'm sorry.
He's searching the desk to see if it has any like drawers, storage areas, anything where these crystals could be. They're not in sight on top, but
Or the
maybe they're
command
put
tablet.
away.
Right.
Yeah, like he's very neat. He's looking for the tablet. He's looking for crystals.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So as you're kind of feeling around and looking around, like the desk is massive and huge, but the only thing on it is that little iPad, right? But you're kind of feeling all around. Open up the drawers, and there's nothing in them. But you're feeling around, and underneath the underside, like where you would actually have your desk, like where you would have your chair and like sort of sit, right? You kind of feel it, and you feel something that there's like something large and bulky that's been attached to the bottom of it that like obviously interrupts your hand. Like it's like everything's smooth and plasteel, and you're like you hit like a thing that's attached to the bottom that's like odd and not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I'll look under to get a good look. Does it look like any of those mines that we saw, those pyramidal mines, or
no? This is more like a just like a flat, rather bulky box that does have appear to be like the same sort of adhesive that has attached it to the bottom of the desk, but it's not pyramidal in any shape.
Okay, can I like twist it? Can I get it off of there? Can I detach
you can pull it. You want to pull it off?
I do.
Okay, so you pull it off. You take a look at it. And you can see that there is a digital readout on it, like a small little LED readout that says 0000, and then there's like an input of like a keypad on it.
So, quick question: did the first officer not have a badge to get into his own room?
You don't know.
This person.
Well, I searched his body. How he'd gotten halfway through the door. How did he open it?
I don't know. I mean,
okay.
The mystery lost to the sands of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering
So
if that would have opened this thing, but it looks like it needs a 4-digit code or something.
Yeah, we found like the hotel security safe.
Yeah.
Of his room. Right.
But it's
how
tiny.
big
It's about the size of like the palm of your hand. It's like small. So it's just
we
big
get
enough to have like a
his-
readout and like 9 keys or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We
so
get
like,
like
we need his pin.
His pin. Well, yeah, but I'm wondering if he has like an officer's, security number or something like in his personnel file. Like his serial number. Name, rank, and serial number.
Mm.
So we could. There's a new coder in here. We could check and look and see if there's.
I'd like to try putting 1, 2, 3, 4 into it.
Sitting on my luggage.
password.
Yeah.
That does not work. You just like you put it in and it's like is a beep, beep.
Nothing from the new. If we put the crew roster in the new coder and we find his file, is there a number or anything attached to his name, serial number or something?
There is, but none of them are like 4 digits. Doesn't appear that anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last
Oh,
4
I wonder-
digits, we could try that.
I wonder if maybe there's letters from home thing. If this is a master list of all the things, maybe something like a birthday of one of his kids or something like that. That's all. That's a thing too. But we haven't looked at those letters yet. Do we want to try to do this now, or do we want to carry it around?
Does anyone have a knock spell? No.
I do. It's a big black
Called
heavy
a
spear.
hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, if we rest, I can memorize it, but there's nothing on hand that I can do.
Right.
Well, why don't we carry it around until we have more time to figure that out?
Oh, Ted.
Do that.
Ted, I didn't read far enough, and your question was valid and legit because Rick was on it. There is a silver Rudishva plaque on Utor
I
Val.
grabbed that off of his body for sure.
And more importantly, I apologize because I just didn't read far enough in the description. He's wearing a bracelet made out of red plasteel on his wrist.
Ooh.
All right, I'll grab that too.
It looks like very fine piece of technology. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like a band of red plasteel. It looks sort of like Apple design, like where it looks simple, but you can tell that there's a lot of stuff going on in it. You know what I mean?
Personal force field.
Does the bracelet held next to the box open it?
No, it does not. Good question.
And I assume the silver plaque doesn't either. Tapping it on the thing doesn't.
No. The bracelet, though, you can see that it does have like a seamless sort of catch but you can find it and sort of like pop it and it pops open if you want.
John, when you say silver plaque, is it different from the cards that we've been carrying? Is it like a different thing, or is it just a silver colored card like we have?
It's a silver colored card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like the other ones we have. Okay.
Yeah. So Mortal put on that bracelet.
Okay. When you put on the bracelet.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
My hand falls off and withers, and I now am the
Okay, so
left hand of goblinism.
when you put on the bracelet, it's a very elegant piece of technology. It's smooth, but the whole thing sort of like when you kind of connect it, it lights up where all these glyphs sort of appear on the plasteel where there doesn't appear to be a display, right? It's just like smooth, but it's just like they sort of illuminate across the thing. You can make no heads nor tails of it. Wolford, if he kind of looks at it, your eyes sort of go wide because it allows an amazing amount of functionality and commands here. It's first of all, at its basic function, it's a comm bracelet basically. So you can decipher speech in any language or communicate to another bracelet within 25 miles. Okay. So you can understand while you're wearing it. You can understand any language. Okay.
You want to test that right now and see if anyone's listening, Ted?
Actually, I'm going to poke at it and see if I can talk to Akla Cha in the shuttle.
Yes, I think I would think that would probably work. It technically says to like another bracelet, but I think because of this, there's more to go with this bracelet. This is the base function. So yes, you can communicate with Akla Cha. In addition,
check in with her.
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me get through the description here. That's the base thing, but this one, more than some of the more baseline ones, is more powerful, worthy of a first officer. You can issue binding commands in Rudishva to any technological device capable of receiving commands. Such devices include Rudishva security constructs and Rudishva battle robots, portable medical units, point defense arrays, all devices from the Nutrivore, Nucoder, and other companies called CRUD-OR and composite scan companies. You can issue commands to all of those devices.
Multipass indeed.
You can issue commands to the security constructs from a distance of 100 feet through voice-activated commands. And you can override any previously programmed defense protocols.
We just got an army, dude. We just got an army of death bots.
In the case of mechanical devices, you can operate them remotely from a distance of 100 feet.
Wow.
It's extremely powerful. Obviously,
now would be the time for PvP, everyone. If this is,
Yeah.
And I slip Iso's dagger into the back of Mort's Magnolia.
You better hope
Oh
you
my
get it
God.
right, because my save versus poison is really good.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
So a pretty cool item.
That's
So-
amazing. Very
So you
cool.
got this weird thing that was attached secretly to the bottom of the desk. That looks like more like bulky tech. You got this very fine piece of ultra high tech, and you have yet to look anywhere else. Like the mannequins, really, the wardrobe, the bed, that whole thing. But we need to take our second break. So let's do that, and we will be right back. Okay, we're back again. Bladder's empty, beer is full. All right, you're in the first officer's quarters behind a couple of weird mannequins labeled Heketi and Human.
All right. Mort's going to try and use the bracelet to open that box, although I don't think it's going to work.
It does not.
Yep. All right. In which case, we should toss the room, man. Search the hell out of it, top to bottom, systemic.
I'll
Turn down the
search
sheets.
that. I'll search the human mannequin.
All right. Mortal, search the bed.
Mort, when you approach the bed, as you get within about 10 feet of it, and you're Wolford, wait, Mort, who's got the box?
Wolford has the box.
Wolford has the box.
You can see whenever you're about to head over to the mannequin, you see Mort make his way over to the bed. When he takes a couple steps towards the bed, the box appears to respond to Mort's movement. Every time he takes a step towards it, there is a previously unseen LED light on the side of the box that actually starts to glow orange and beep It doesn't beep, but it pulses, silently. And then as he gets closer, that orange starts to change hue until it gets more and more red.
Huh.
Don't like that.
Until he's right at the base of the bed, and it's like fluttering red.
I'm going to walk out of the room.
Yeah, Mort, you may want to step away from that bed. I don't like the looks of this thing.
Okay, you're communicating this to poor Mort, who would have been oblivious.
Yeah.
All right, Mort will back up. What happens?
The light diffuses back to like a orangish yellowish until you back up to like your original position, and the light winks out.
Even with
What
the
if one of
bracelet
us
on,
goes
huh?
up to the bed? What if I
somebody
walk
else go up to it?
Same
thing. All right.
Okay.
Mort will drop to the floor, and he's going to try and look under the bed. Can he see something under there, or?
Uh,
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh, John's grinning. John's
Hold on.
happy. See
Oh
you, Mort.
no.
Hope you
Very
enjoyed your
special
bracelet.
episode.
no, there's nothing underneath the bed.
That's-
Oh. All right. Somebody said something
You were
about a
so
grappling hook.
happy.
I know. Can we grapple the sheets off? Who's got? You said you got one, Matt? Is that?
I do
wanna-
have a grappling. Yeah.
All I request is whatever we do in the proximity of any potential explosives, Mort not be wearing that bracelet. Either take it off if you want to do stuff and give it to one of us, or you don't do the prodding, because that is the single most important item.
Mort will back up
Yeah.
to the door, but Barrios will take the grappling hook off of Wolf, and he'll sling it onto the bed and try and pull the sheets off.
Well,
Who's in the room?
There's another
I back
thing
out.
that
I back out.
there's another thing I want to try, right?
Okay.
But just
Okay.
before we do that, if Wolford takes this box and he's watching that indicator now, right? If he
Right.
starts to move that box towards the door, does it also start warning? Because I'm curious, like, does it respond if you start to take it away?
No, it doesn't. But your pathway to the door leads you closer to the wardrobe, and as you pass closer and then past the wardrobe, it intensifies and then dulls as you pass by the wardrobe.
Huh.
It's
So
a
it
mind
appear-
detector.
It appears to sort of react when you approach the bed and the wardrobe.
Ah.
When anyone approaches
Right.
either.
All
I
right.
think
So
it's a mind detector. That's all I could figure. I don't know.
Ubior and Mort, and I guess I can't think of Mike's character's name, but
Lothar.
Lothar. There we go.
That guy.
That guy.
I'm
Guy
kind of
over
waiting
there.
for it. I'm
We'll
like,
step out of the room.
The rest.
Maybe Elizabeth steps out, and Barrios and Wolf are still in the room. Barrios will try and pull the sheets off.
So
With the
Mort,
grappling
Wolf,
hook.
and Barrios are still in the room.
No,
Wait,
Mort
wait.
stepped out
Wait, why do I have to be in there?
because you got the
You just
box.
volunteered Wolf.
I totally did.
Yeah, I got the.
We don't know what the box does. If he takes the box out of the room and that blows it up, I don't know. So I was
you've had a
thinking-
good life, man. You've had a long
It's true,
and
yeah.
fruitful life.
Okay, Wolf and Barrios are now in the room alone. Everyone else is peering
Right.
in past the mannequins to see what Wolf and Barrios are going to do next. Wolf, what do you do?
All right. All right. So he's going to pull that bed off, right? It's going to blow up.
It's just we have twine. We have twine. We just put a fish hook on some twine and throw it at the sheet and hook the sheet. There's no reason that someone should do this by hand.
hook. Hey,
No,
B,
I'm literally doing that with a grappling hook, David.
yeah.
That's
Who minds a
You're
bed?
tossing it. You're not.
You said you were going to have Barrios grab it.
no,
No.
grapple
Grapple
with the
it.
grappling
I see.
hook. Yes,
I think what David is saying though is like that can all be done in the hallway.
Yeah, you
That's
don't have to
true.
be in the room. That's
Yeah,
the point. You don't
Toss
need to
it
be
in.
right
Yeah, let's
next
go out
to it.
and do it
Yeah,
from
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Although
everybody step out of the room.
you guys should back off too. I'm going to put that. Make sure that box is in case it blows up.
Mhm.
Oh, because there could be something inside of it.
Here's
Want to blow up?
Yeah, maybe we don't set it off right now. It's
Maybe we
entirely
need to know
possible.
what it's doing, though.
Yes, but let's say, for instance, that there are valuables that he didn't want aliens to get to acquire, and that it's not just a mine to. If it is a mine, let's say, it's not just a mine to kill someone who goes ruffling through the drawer, but to only allow him with the proper code access to said drawer for the ultra gun of Dominion making. You know, I don't know, man.
Right,
Ted can call Akla Cha. If
Yeah,
he
just ask-
calls her and
just-
he's like, "Hey, we've got this box with a flashing red light.
Good. Yeah.
What do you
That's a
think?"
good point. I will call Akla and ask,
Great idea.
describe the box and its behavior
Mhm.
in the room that we're in, and ask if she knows what's going on.
Ted would like to use phone a friend.
I'm
Well,
phoning
yes,
a friend.
Mart. That, of course, is a controller box. You can you can link it to any number of devices and control it remotely through that box. Usually it's used to set traps for the unwary. It can only be disabled by inputting a 4-digit code. Before you ask, no, I do not know what that 4-digit
What's
code is.
So the box
What's the factory default code?
0000.
So what the box does is it controls some other device that is the defense. The box is the controller. The other thing is the defense or the alarm.
It's very simple. And it can also, for anyone holding the controller, they can detect when someone approaches near the rigged device.
Okay.
That's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was
turning
saying.
off the box or putting the code in the box turns off the security system.
Correct.
Aklacha, I'm not talking to Aklacha. Do you want to ask Aklacha about the second in command's favorite numerology beliefs or birth date? Aklacha would have his birthday.
She does.
Birthday
She has his birthday, but it's like a sequence of numbers that are more than 4, right? You know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. And then she can't give any good information about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But there's nothing about his personality. But she would say that he was a simple and direct Rudishva. Whatever was in that recording was accurate about him. He did have those obsessive compulsive. Actually, her as a therapist, she could give you more information on that. She could diagnose him as an obsessive compulsive, that he had issues with that, and everything had to be in order. He was paranoid about anyone rummaging through his goods or anything that he deemed his own property, he was a very simple and direct man, not one for oblique thought, to put it that way.
Hey, can you put 2357, first 4 prime numbers, into the code sequence and see if anything happens? Wolford?
Nothing happens when you put those numbers in. Good guess.
Okay.
He grew obsessed with the local, what he called the primitive cultures of Arden Vul, and quickly became paranoid that they were all going to overrun the Rudishva hegemony in Arden Vul.
Is there any? No, it doesn't make sense. All right, so the primes didn't work.
Primes didn't work. I thought that might.
Turn goes by.
Okay. All right. So there's something on the wardrobe and something in the bed that will bad happen if. Aklacha, is there a range on the controller? If you take the controller too far away, does that deactivate or automatically activate the defense?
No.
Okay.
I would say it probably does have a range. I don't really have it here in the book.
That's fine.
But yeah.
Um.
Whatever it's connected to stays rigged or unrigged, regardless. You know.
Okay, so we need. This feels like a situation where magic might do the job where tech can't.
Mhm. I want to try just one thing because we know one code to disarm explosives. It probably won't work here, but if Wolford gets just enough so that the thing close enough to one of the dresser or something, it starts beeping, and he says the code name Deep Patrol from the security guy, does it affect the beeping at all or not?
No, nothing happens. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I hate to be this annoying, but I'm gonna fire off a couple other code ideas. 0112.
Nope.
13610.
No.
149. No, that wouldn't work.
First four digits of pi. What is it?
That's-
3147?
7, I think.
Can't think of.
Those are all good.
There is. I'll tell you
why don't-
this. I'll tell you this.
One-
Like, there's
one,
nothing that you've come
138.
across, or that you could piece together that would give you the proper code.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you're
Let's
literally just
keep
stabbing
looking around,
blindly.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but can we try 1138? Because that's like George Lucas's thing.
No.
Good. I like that.
How about 42069? Is that?
That's more or less 4 digits.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on for now. We've gotten lots of goodies. There's a hallway.
No. The command tablet's probably in here, though. Remember? Like, that's the thing we needed from the first officer.
Well,
Yeah, it's probably in the wardrobe with a mine on top of it.
Either the first
know,
officer or the captain would have, or the people that normally have the command tablet. You just know
True.
that
We don't
one
know
of them.
who's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Let's keep
That's a good
looking
point.
because
we can also cast locate object at some point, can't we?
yeah, I mean that's you. Can you?
Not right now.
Okay.
But so we could continue to look, and
Okay.
then if we find something that won't necessarily blow us up, we can take a nap and let our man of God help us out.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're leaving this room. You're taking the control box, the controller with you?
Sure, I'll take the control box. Is it a slot?
It's a slot. Yep.
Okay.
All right, and you continue to head west.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so at this juncture, you can your continual light easily shows you what lies ahead. So 30 feet, actually 20 feet beyond this junction, there is a plasteel corridor 10 feet wide that heads north, directly north.
Wait,
And
when you
then,
say junction, you mean the door?
Yeah,
So I've drawn the hallway too long?
you've drawn it exactly to the point where. Oh yeah. So 10 feet shorter is where there's a corridor that goes to the north, and that after 30 feet at the very end of the hallway on the western end is an iris door that takes up the entire western end of that hallway. So like right beyond the corridor is a
Like that?
iris door. Yep.
Okay. So let's move up to the intersection and look north.
Look up.
Okay, you can see that there is a there's no smells coming from there. It's just a plasteel corridor, and it goes for 20 feet before it opens up into a slightly larger room. And you can see from this distance, your continual light is illuminating in that room. They appear to be lined with wire shelving, sort of like, do you know what metro racks are in like kitchens and stuff like that? It's like that.
Yep.
Except these wire shelves are all made out of white plasteel
Right.
structures.
So it
And
looks like
there's-
IKEA.
There's no indicator on the door, like, a captain's glyph or something on the door.
The door that is different. There is a panel there, just a regular old panel.
I'll scan.
Okay.
I scan it with the card.
You see, okay, so you're not moving up the corridor.
No.
Okay, so beep beep. When you scan it with the yellow, it opens up, and you are you're facing a square room with no corners, 30 by 30. You're entering in the middle of the eastern wall, and you can tell that this is obviously the captain's quarters.
There we go. I thought
There's
so.
a wall-mounted bed, wraparound desk, a wardrobe. All are made of white plasteel, just like the first officers. In addition, there is a 5-foot-tall table made of orange plasteel, so it really stands out, set into the floor just inside the doorway. Okay, so like it's like almost blocking the doorway. Mounted on the south wall is a holographic display. This one is going through the pictures of the nebulae and the galaxies and the star fields and all that kind of stuff. But in addition, it's also cycling through, interspersed with all the star stuff, random locations that are obviously within Arden Vul. Like as they kind of, like you recognize some of them, like the Great Hall, the Debouche, like things like that, but other foreign places as well. On the desk, you can see this is the wraparound desk that's beyond like the orange plasteel table that's in front of you. There is one of the new Coder 3000s. So this is like the egg-shaped thing that has a tripod that can be moved around that can holographically project things. There is 2 very familiar looking rods. It's the first time you've seen them together. One golden, one platinum. Sitting right next to each other. There is a multicolored operator card, which looks very familiar to Wolford. And it looks like the new coder has a data crystal in it. And in addition, on top of the tall table of orange plasteel is a 12-inch by 9-inch oval of plasteel, which has 2 LED screens on it, a series of buttons with Rudishvan glyphs, and a pair of joysticks on it. And
Does it look like it would fit in the things that we've seen that would hold the
It
Game
sure
Boy
does.
tablet?
Hell yes, we found his Nintendo Mario Kart.
Yeah, I want to play Mario for sure.
All right. I have an idea, guys. If there's another one of these like box command trap things, it lights up whenever we get near. If we take our light sources and kind of hide them, if we creep in carefully, we should be able to see like a warning glow if there's one of these boxes
Smart.
under a table or under a bed or something, because it's completely black in there. If we start coming in, we would see the glow.
I
Unless
agree.
they're slaved to particular defenses, but yeah, it's worth a try.
Yeah,
All
why
right.
don't we stow our lights? You wanna take a peek?
Yeah, my bright idea, so I'll do it.
Close our lockets.
Yeah,
Okay.
close the locket, peek inside, and very carefully go in, looking all around for the colored lights. Like a little glow that I've seen from the box in the other room.
Right.
Oh, I see. You're trying to trigger a second box.
Yeah,
I
because
get
we know
it.
if I go slowly enough, it's gonna like glow orange and then red like the other one did, and I should be able to
No, that
see
makes
that
sense.
if it's not buried or something.
Nothing. You don't see anything.
All right.
When the turn goes
Where's the table is near the door?
The desk, the table, the orange plasteel
ta-
table that the tablet is on is like right
Yeah.
beyond the door, like right in front of you. You have to kind of move around it to get into the room proper. But then there's a wraparound desk that's like on the far side.
Do you want to ask Akla Cha if this is the command tablet that we're looking for?
Sure.
I mean, we think
I'll
it is.
describe
It's
it to her.
same size, yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Congratulations on finding the command tablet. One of 2.
Woo!
I'm-
We only need one, right?
You only need
Right.
one. That's correct. Yes. The other one is a
All right.
redundancy that the first officer would normally have. It looks like if you found
All
this in
right.
the captain's quarters, that the one that the Archontians call the tablet of the beacon must have been taken from the first officer in some manner, shape, or form. And
Akla Cha,
yes.
do the command tablets have communication ability? Like a comms, like can you talk to them?
Can you talk to them?
Like can you communicate
bracelet.
with them? Like do they have a walkie-talkie feature?
Like between the 2 tablets?
Or between the 2 tablets and say this nifty bracelet that I'm wearing?
Let me check. Let's see.
Because you could ask the security in this room to deactivate if there is some.
Among other ideas.
Want to see if Kerbal Khan is on the phone? You want to just
Well, kind of. Actually, I was sort of hoping to be like, was his name Rodney from the Five Fingers? Rodney. This is your conscience speaking. Give the goblin the command tablet, Rodney. But yes, turning off a defense in this room, or asking if they're, trying to find out if there's one live or something like that. I don't know.
She tells you that the command tablet on its own is a useless piece of technology. It can only, it can only be operated when it is inserted into the armrest of the captain's chair, or in any vessel. In that case, it activates all advanced operations of communications, security, and astrogation stations. So like when you were up in the bridge and you were able to sort of determine like what you could do at each one of those stations, there was a bunch, and I think I mentioned it, there was a bunch of like commands and screens and stuff like that were inoperable at the time. Those would become operable with the command tablet was inserted in. In addition, she tells you, and she just does this totally blithely without any sort of concern for herself. She said you can issue binding commands to any of the beacon's artificial intelligences, including my own.
Oh. Right.
So
I
you
could
could
also
also
not head shrink me anymore.
You could also access every point defense array and look and see like what they're looking at and how many of them there are.
Yes.
Do you want to ask Aklacha how many artificial intelligences there are?
That's a good question.
What their purpose is?
There's others.
So there were many artificial intelligences for various ship operations, more than a dozen at the time of the crash. However, most of us have been deactivated or destroyed over the ensuing centuries. Only 2, as far as I know, survive to this day. Myself and Raj 750, RAJ 750.
Good old Raj.
Where would we find Raj?
Raj is in the weapons module, but I would, and you can actually hear like the hesitancy in her voice. Something's wrong with Raj.
Yeah, of course there is.
I would be very careful.
We need to talk about Raj.
Yes.
Would he still have to obey the commands that were issued via the command tablet, no matter how he is damaged?
Technically, yes, but from what I've been able to glean, I believe that the damage is substantial enough that his programming, the damage to his programming may be enough that he may inadvertently just not be able to follow commands.
Great, that's who you want in charge of your weapon systems.
Yeah, for sure. This is Skynet all over again, man.
Yeah.
Believe me, it did cause me a great deal of consternation and fear when I discovered this exact thing that you're mentioning. However, over the ensuing millennium, nothing bad has happened that I'm aware of. But the halls of Arden Vul are vast, so maybe I'm just unaware.
Okay.
Right.
I think we should get this tablet. Yeah.
Matt's trick didn't work.
Well, it did. Maybe it did.
It didn't reveal a hidden amber light blinking.
That's a good sign. Well, here's what I'd like to do, Mort. Let's get the tablet, and I'm going to reach in. I'm going to reach into Laurel's sack. I'm going to pull out one of those big pizza oven spatulas. It's
a peel.
A peel.
That's true.
Okay,
It is called a peel.
I'm going to pull out a peel and use it to pick up the pad from afar, lift it up, and pull it back.
Okay. I don't think you could probably pull that out, but something equivalent. Fine. Yeah, you get the tablet. Nothing.
Yeah, not too big. I mean, a small one.
Yeah.
You gonna give it a flip as you do it?
With a there you go.
You'll set the Arcantian world on fire if you invent pizza, Wolf. So. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, like they've got wood burning ovens and they bake bread. They've got to have these things.
That's probably true. Actually,
right?
Bread, yeah.
That's very.
Anyways,
very
you get the tablet without an issue.
Pull that.
Okay.
And I
what
hold
about
it up.
those rods, guys? Do we think those might be the drive shaft things that she's talking about?
Is it identical to the gold rod we already have?
Yes.
And
the
platinum rod that we saw.
Yep, that the bailiff was carrying. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh. So now we know of 2 golden and 2 platinum rods that have some sort of technology within them.
Okay, so why did Crass want it back?
You don't know if they have technology in them. They appear to be just solid bars of gold and platinum.
We discerned that they were a hollow at some point when we were playing.
They're solid.
Why did I think that?
They go into a hollow channel in the obsidian doors, I think.
But
But
that chocolate in that peanut
My
butter.
memory is bad.
Akla Cha, what a drive rod looks like.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
I would have to go
She
look
makes
for
John
it,
cry.
but it's not these rods.
It's not these
Okay.
rods. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's all
Yes.
that's necessary. That's
The
fine.
things you're looking at, it
These
doesn't
rods
look like that.
are just for paddling, misbehaving first officers.
Most likely.
You know,
All right, so
They are very obvious.
Before we
They are not of a piece, right? Like that. Like everything else is technological, and then these two things stand out. Not only that, but you recognize these things. They are very much like of Arden Vul, right? They are not of Rudishva. Yet here they
Okay.
are in the captain's quarters.
we
yeah,
got to
and these
have
guys
them.
were here for a long time. They had time to find these and collect them and whatever, study
And-
them.
significant enough to have both of them in the captain's quarters.
Remember,
behind
this is a
locked
key
door.
thing. That's a good point. Yes, right, David. Remember that their reign was only 163 years long, and that at that time they were only dealing with Heketi, right?
Mhm.
Which means
And-
that these are not Arcantian made.
Right.
They're Heketi.
Yeah, and those obsidian doors that possibly these are involved with predate everything that anybody ever knew about. So that would make sense. Like they could be of the same time period. These rods and the obsidian gates.
I think
We should go ahead.
didn't we determine? Yes, Akla Cha told us today that the obsidian gates were created by the Heketi.
Yeah.
So
the ones that we had seen were fake pale imitations.
the others
correct?
are imitations, right? So okay, so we got to have the rods. We got to have them. Barrios volunteers to just walk in and grab them.
Well, before he does, let me get that tablet safely out of the room, so nothing can happen to
You've
it.
got the tablet.
Okay.
You sent in
Barrios
Barrios.
will walk in and grab the two rods and the multicolored card,
Okay.
and if nothing blows up to kill him, he'll grab the crystal out of the new coder.
Yeah, sure. Okay, you can pull that out. So the crystal
All
is labeled "Solutions to the Propulsion Problem."
Oh, very good.
So I would say the two rods together would probably be a slot. The data crystal is a slot. And then the tablet, the command tablet, is a slot as well.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, Barrios has the rods, and he'll take what was the crystal called? The solutions.
Solutions to the
yeah.
propulsion problem.
Okay. All right. Barrios is full up. I assume
Wolford's
the
gonna-
bracelet doesn't take up any slots, John.
The bracelet does not take up a slot,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
and that's called a command bracelet. If you want to write it down in your character sheet.
Oh, I wrote techno bracelet, but command is
Yeah.
better.
Akla could tell you too that there's what I was trying to get at is like the rank and file would have a communications bracelet, which is not red. It's like probably like chrome or something like that. And that's just like your typical tricorder sort of thing, like just communicate between crew members and stuff like that, right? The command one has all of these extra functions, and of course that would only be given to the first officer and the captain. That's it.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we are at time, so this is a good place to end it. We'll end it.
Oh, no.
Just keep going, dude. Come on.
We'll keep
Episode
it.
100. Another hour. We're good, right?
I'm good.
We will call it here.
Oh, man.
All right. So that'll do it for episode 100. Thanks everyone for sticking with us for this long. If you've made it this far, it's a pretty epic achievement. We should say in anyone's D&D campaign to reach 100 episodes, 100 sessions long.
Not bad.
Pretty pleased by it. It's pretty awesome. All right. So again, thank you for watching and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications every time we publish new material. Even at this late stage, it still helps. So please do so. Spread the word. If you have a little bit of extra cash, please subscribe to our Patreon. There's 3 different levels: Explorer, Delvers, and Conquerors. Get you a little bit of a few bennies, including access to our super secret channels on our Discord server, which otherwise is free to join with lots of cool conversation. And check out our publication, Feats of Exploration, which provides a exploration-based XP award system, which you can tack on to any OSR system that uses level-based experience points leveling systems. So do that. Thank you again to all of our patrons, our delvers, our explorers, our delvers, and especially our conquerors. And I have the distinct honor to read that list tonight. They are Samuel O'Dillon, Gregory Distelhorst, Mike Small, DMW 71, Richard Barton, James Boyle, Stephen BKK, Doc Jones 73, Jackson Bates, John Hooker, Kayla Ripley Wolf, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Mecha Squagulot 605. Okay,
Yes,
that's good old Mercury 605.
Nice.
You promised you would do it, and you did it.
Wow.
Good on you.
Wow.
Good call out. Ruben D. Collar, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Quisenberry, Braden Aiden, John and Law Logan, Kabrowski's, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Jeff Tokach, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, Ted Gast, James Doig, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabrielle, the Hex Brawler Twins, Han Dandler, Summon Toast, Tito, Dungeon Heart Adam, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dire Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, not Matt but not least, and the Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, Matt Young, and our newest Matt, Matthew Mattis. Thank you, as always, for all of your continued support, everyone. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with us through 100 episodes of the Halls of Arden Vul. Wow. And we are still chugging along. Everyone have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.